So Jennifer Aniston and Justin Theroux got married while Venus was retrograde in Leo. They got divorced in February of 2018. So Venus is going to be stationing retrograde in Leo again this summer, almost the same exact dates, only off by a couple days. Now, astrologers, myself included, typically do not advise getting married during Venus retrograde. Venus is the planet that rules love, romance, and marriage specifically. When a planet stations retrograde, you are forced to reflect on the areas of life that that planet rules over, and the expression of that planet is almost expressed backward. Venus is also the planet that rules money and financial resources. Venus retrograde is a period to reflect on your finances and kind of rebalance your books. So scheduling a wedding during a Venus retrograde period is not conducive towards that. If you're really well off financially and going over budget isn't a huge risk, then Venus retrograde might not be the worst thing. But for the average person who is watching their dollar when they're planning their wedding, I would advise wait until Venus is direct. And since Jennifer Aniston is such a kind person who loves TikTokers so much, we're going to be reading the astrology of her wedding and her divorce from Justin Theroux. I know that this looks like a lot, but don't worry, I'm going to break it all down. So here we have Jen's chart, then Justin's chart laid over it, and then their wedding chart in the third outer ring. So the day of their wedding, Venus was stationed retrograde in Leo. That's why the number is red, because it's retrograde. Now, Justin Theroux has a Leo Venus, meaning that it was his Venus return. He also has a Leo sun in its domicile, and it was Leo season, so it was his solar return as well, 5 days after his birthday. Jennifer Aniston has 0 Leo placements. It is crickets in her 10th house. So that right away tells me that this wedding looks like it was for Justin, by Justin, and about Justin. The sun is a spotlight. The Leo sun is the main character, the center of attention. And even though Venus was retrograde, this Venus return for him was very much like, I got a wife. Now we're looking at Aries, the other fire sign, which she has a lot going on. She has Saturn fallen in Aries. She has Venus in detriment. She also has her North Node and Chiron in Aries. The day of the wedding, the South Node was in Aries, only at 2 degrees off from her North Node, meaning it was her nodal opposition. This can be a difficult transit. It kind of feels like you're going backwards on your life path. A lot of people actually mistake this aspect with the Saturn return. This happens around the age of 27. The Saturn return happens anywhere from 28 to 30. So the 27 club, a lot of the people that die at age 27, most of the time they're experiencing their nodal opposition. For Justin, he has an Aries moon, and the day of was Aries moon. So his lunar return as well as his solar return. Again, this to me is just reading all about Justin. The last significant transit I noticed from the day of their wedding was this Saturn in Scorpio, which was lined up with Justin's Jupiter in Scorpio and Jen's Mars in Scorpio, which is in its domicile. Saturn rules limitations and restriction. Jupiter is a free-spirited and adventurous energy that wants room to explore, expand, and grow. Whereas Mars talks about targeted, directed action. And when it's in the fixed sign of Scorpio, this can be a very stubborn energy that does not want things to change because they're nostalgic about the way things used to be. That difference between the reactive and immature energy of Mars compared to the very wise and mature energy of Jupiter, it's very possible that this synastry right here is what led to the disagreements and eventually caused the marriage to not work out. Looking at approximately the time of the divorce, Jupiter was transiting Scorpio, so it was Justin's Jupiter return. This is the opportunity that allowed him to really reclaim his freedom and break free from the limitations of marriage so he could continue on his own personal journey of life without his ex-wife. If we go back and look at Leo again, but for the divorce, we see that this time it's Justin's nodal opposition. So this separation, even though it granted him freedom, it probably was a difficult thing for him that made him feel like he was moving backwards or taking a step backwards in his life path. Meanwhile, Saturn, which symbolizes the end of that relationship or the separation, was transiting Jen's natal Juno. Juno is the asteroid that rules committed partnerships and specifically your spouse. So yeah, it's obviously not everyone. Of course, there's people that get married during Venus retrograde that stay married. But if you're looking for your wedding to go smooth and set a good tone for the rest of your marriage, then wait till Venus is stationed there. And if you're looking to explore using astrology to plan your wedding, I offer wedding date selection, full horoscope for the day of your wedding, live astrology readings at your wedding, and astrology honeymoon packages. I use map astrology or astrocartography to help you and your partner pick the best location for your honeymoon, and then I also do a full honeymoon horoscope report. And if you're not getting married but you want to see how this Venus retrograde in Leo might affect you this summer, I am doing Venus retrograde readings for a limited time, so go check.